Lin Chuan traveled through the world of gods and became a disciple of the outside sect of Jiejiao. The arrival of Fengshen Liangjie, how could Tong Tian allow disciples to enter the list of Fengshen? Lin Chuan. It's over, I can't hold on to teaching, run away quickly. Tong Tian. Who is talking? How dare you curse this seat and seek death? Duobao appears, ready to enter the calamity. Lin Chuan. Not long after, the senior brother who intercepted the teachings will become a Buddhist Tathagata. When teaching the long-eared Dingguang Immortal six-soul banner to the heavens. Lin Chuan. Traitor, he will eventually kill me for cutting off my teachings. Tong Tian. Lin Chuan, so it's you. Keywords of the novel. Honghuang. I was eavesdropped on by Tong Tian without a pop-up window, Honghuang. I was eavesdropped on by Tong Tian, Heartbeat Complete Collection Download, Honghuang. I was eavesdropped on by Tong Tian, Heartbeat Latest Chapter Reading. Chapter 1. Good kid, I really don't know if it's you, don't I? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. Good kid, I really don't know if it's you, don't I? The Fengshen Liangjie is approaching, and all races in the world can enter the Fengshen list and be promoted to divine status. I can give any interested disciple a try. Jiejiao Island, in the Blue Palace. Master Tong Tian personally preached. The content discussed is related to the list of deities. Under the high platform, countless immortals gathered together. Every face is extremely solemn, afraid of missing even a little information. However, there is someone who always looks bored. He sat cross-legged on a futon, hunched his back and supporting his cheeks. I have yawned 17 or 18 times in this short period of time. It's like being able to fall asleep at any time. It's been 1,000 years, and the Fengshen Liangjie is still coming. The good days are coming to an end. Lin Chuan sighed and his mind was completely lost in the conversation. As a hiker, Lin Chuan is like most hikers. Traverse the built.in system. However, his system is relatively simple. Lying flat can earn rich rewards. It's even simpler than checking in. He lives a leisurely life every day. Various flowers and plants, indulging in the scenery. One's cultivation level can easily climb up. What kind of spiritual treasure, pill? He never lacks. As a disciple of the external sect, I have to constantly worry about the arrival of the Fengshen Liangjie. At the thought of Fengshen Liangjie, the 10,000 immortals of the Duanjiao sect were killed or injured and fled. Lin Chuan had even less energy to cultivate. Anyway, they're all dead, why don't we just lie flat and count the balls? Ding, when preaching in the sky, the host paddles the water. Reward obtained, ginseng fruit *10, as the sound of system rewards rings in my mind. Lin Chuan remained indifferent. He is too skilled in paddling. Moreover, what the leader of the Tong Tian sect talks about is all about the matter of sealing gods and measuring tribulations. There is no more nutrition left. After all, throughout the vast world, no one knows more about being a god than Lin Chuan. Fengshen is approaching. Duobao, as the chief disciple, you should practice diligently and constantly supervise your disciples. Don't lose face in this seat. The leader of the Tong Tian sect sternly reprimanded. Good. A middle-aged man in a long shirt with a kind eyebrow responded by clasping his fists. He is the Taoist of Duobao. The chief disciple of Jiejiao. The beloved disciple of the Heavenly Master. Alas, it's a shame that Tong Tian trusts you so much. In the future, he betrayed the teachings of Jiejiao, although it was forced by Laozi, and Jiejiao was also in name only, but betrayal is ultimately betrayal. It's hard to say but not to listen. Lin Chuan shook his head slightly and muttered to himself. Tong Tian, who was lecturing, suddenly froze. Who is it? Who's talking? On the high platform, the sharp eyes of the Heavenly Master swept over the immortals. He clearly heard someone talking. And he boldly transmitted it directly into his ears. How unreasonable. Unfortunately, he searched around but couldn't find any trace. Tong Tian couldn't help but wonder if there was something wrong with his ears. That's not right. That person clearly said that Taoist Duobao would betray Jiejiao in the future. And the Jesuit society is in name only. Is there anyone among the disciples who cut off teachings who can predict? But the art of prying into the mysteries of heaven is the means of a sage. Even the leader of the heavenly sect could not pry into such detail. How did that person do it? Master. Did something happen? Taoist Duobao looked at Master Tongtian with concern on his face. Just now. After finishing his training, the head of the Tongtian sect suddenly changed his expression. This really scared Taoist Duobao. It was the first time he had seen his master lose his composure like this. Something big must have happened. It's nothing. The leader of the Tongtian sect waved his hand. How could Duobao understand things that he couldn't figure out? And that sound never appeared again. Maybe it's really his ear problem. There's one more thing. Today, Dingguang Immortal broke through the Tai Gold Immortal, and this is the result of his hard cultivation. Therefore, I teach him to master the 6 soul banner as a way to encourage him. Everyone should take him as an example, practice diligently, and never neglect him. The leader of the Tongtian sect smiled and offered the 6 soul banner, publicly rewarding the long-eared Dingguang Immortal. Seeing this, all the immortals were in an uproar. Countless envious and jealous gazes cast over. The long-eared Dingguang Immortal smiled happily and trembled with excitement. Confused. It was because Dingguang Immortal controlled the 6 soul banners that the 10,000 immortals formation failed. This traitor can still be highly valued. As a saint, it's hard to distinguish between good and bad people. I suggest going to see an ophthalmologist. The hand extended by the leader of the Tongtian sect suddenly froze. Bastard! Who is speaking on earth? A pair of cold eyes from the sky swept across the immortals in anger, and he secretly exclaimed in surprise. It's obvious that he's really angry. Dare to talk nonsense in front of him, what a big coward. If he finds out this person, he will make it fly to ashes. The head of the Tongtian sect's scorching eyes swept over the immortals at a glance. Startled, Wan Xian was covered in hair. The long-eared Dingguang Immortal, who was originally going to pick up the 6 soul banner, trembled with fear. He clearly didn't do anything. Why is Master angry? Why not? He doesn't want these 6 soul flags anymore, isn't that enough? Master. Master, I don't know what I did, which angered Master. I hope Master can calm down. The long-eared Dingguang Immortal knelt down with a thud, kowtowing 3 times in a row to show respect. It has nothing to do with you. The leader of the Tongtian sect waved impatiently. But after seeing the long-eared Dingguang Immortal, the sound he had just heard echoed back in his mind. Long-eared Dingguang Immortal also betrayed the Truncation sect. Does it also lead to the failure of the 10,000 immortals formation? If that's the case, he gave the 6 soul banner to the Dingguang Immortal, wouldn't it not have planted the cause of trouble? It is crucial for the survival of education. Better believe in its existence than in its absence. I have thought about it as a teacher. These 6 soul banners are the 3 major innate evil spirits and treasures. Your cultivation is still shallow, and you are afraid of backlash, which is not beneficial for your cultivation. I will help you find a higher magical tool for you as a teacher another day, and then bestow it upon you. The leader of the Tongtian sect casually evaded and withdrew the 6 soul banner. Although I have lost face for many people, it is a matter of great importance in intercepting education, and I cannot be careless. Long-eared Dingguang Immortal dare not say a word of no. The angry appearance of the leader of the Tongtian sect just now is still vivid in my memory. It would be good if he could save his life, but he wouldn't dare to expect a reward. Master is absolutely right, I obey your orders. Chang'er Dingguang Xian clasped his fists and quickly retreated. Although this matter fooled the past. But the mind of the leader of the Tong Tian sect completely ceased to preach. He doesn't suspect that there is a problem with his ears now. On the contrary, he is quite convinced. Among these immortals, there must be someone who can communicate with his consciousness. Moreover, that disciple must not have known that his inner voice had already been detected by Tong Tian. In this way, it will be easy to find that person. Since you think the end of the cutoff will come sooner or later, you are definitely not willing to stay in the cutoff for a long time. Then this seat will keep you, let's see how you choose. Master Tong Tian let out a cold snort in secret. Then he cleared his throat and said loudly. Today, I have decided to select one of the disciples from the outer sect to be promoted to the inner sect. Interested parties take a step forward, this seat may vary depending on the situation. As soon as these words were spoken, all the immortals exclaimed. There are countless disciples from the outer sect, who wouldn't want to be promoted to the inner sect. Not to mention powerful external disciples such as Zhao Gongming and San Shao. Even the leaders of the 10 Absolute Formation and the Fire Dragon Island are eager to join the inner gate. At this moment, all inner disciples left the Putuan one after another and followed the orders of the leader of the Tong Tian sect. Taking a big step forward. Only one person, hiding in the crowd. Sitting lazily on a futon. Joining the inner gate. Unless I have a mental illness. Fengshen Liangjie has arrived, there is no way to save the sect. Let's wait to die. I'll hurry up and run away too. Someone's voice rang out again. Good kid, it's you. Tong Tian's sharp eyes immediately locked onto Lin Chuan. Everyone else is standing, just you are sitting. Do you think this seat can't see you? Want to run away? There are no doors. Duobao. Bring the kid sitting on the futon to me. I hereby announce that this person has officially joined the inner sect and become a disciple of the inner sect. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Do you want to run when a disaster is coming? There are no doors. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. Do you want to run when a disaster is coming? There are no doors intercepting teaching. There are countless disciples from outside, and Lin Chuan is just one of them. And he is the laziest and most capable of paddling. Duobao can recognize Lin Chuan Kai Guai. You, talk about you. Come out. Duobao pointed at Lin Chuan and scolded. Shua shua shua. Thousands of pairs of eyes are looking in the same direction together. Lin Chuan panicked. He really doesn't want to become an inner disciple. Especially at this critical moment, he was personally selected as an inner disciple by the leader of the Tong Tian sect. Isn't this taking his life? Being a person is difficult, but being a low-key and introverted person is even more difficult. At this moment, Lin Chuan could feel the different gazes of Wan Xian. There is envy, jealousy, and malice. Especially Zhao Gongming, San Shao and others. As an outer disciple, Zhao Gongming's cultivation is even stronger than many inner disciples. Holding 20.4 Ding Hai pearls in hand, he will become a ruthless character in the future. If you offend him, can you still have good karma? Damn bad old man, what grudges, what grievances. Do you insist on killing me? I don't want to be a damn inner disciple. Wouldn't it be okay to give it to Zhao Gongming? Lin Chuan sighed bitterly. Reluctantly passing through the crowd, he walked towards Duobao Taoist. Stinky kid, how dare you call me a bad old man? Humph, you don't want to be an inner disciple, so I insist that you do it. Kid, I'm afraid you don't know yet. I can eavesdrop on your thoughts. Ha, this feeling is really good. Master Tong Tian grinned. The look in Lin Chuan's eyes was full of ill intentions. Master, this person's name is Lin Chuan. Among the disciples of the outer sect, he cannot be considered outstanding. Compared to Zhao Gongming, San Shao, and others, this person's cultivation cannot be considered as hard work. The candidate for this inner sect disciple is not. Taoist Duobao frowned, trying to remind Master Tong Tian. As the chief disciple of Jiejiao, there are not many external disciples that he can remember. But Zhao Gongming and the others still remember vividly. For no other reason, relying solely on the qualifications and cultivation of Zhao Gongming and San Shao, being elected as an inner disciple would be more than just a poke. But for some reason, the leader of the Tong Tian sect did not choose from these four people. Instead, he chose an unknown nobody. Actually, not only Duobao has doubts. Millions of external disciples were all surprised. If it weren't for the presence of Master Tong Tian, Zhao Gongming might have directly fought with Lin Chuan. To prove who is more of an inner disciple. Senior brother is absolutely right. The disciples' cultivation is still shallow, and they have not yet qualified to be disciples of this inner sect. I hope Master can take it back. Lin Chuan's eyes lit up and he quickly agreed with Duobao to borrow a donkey from the slope. Well said, who loves to be a disciple of this inner sect? Damn it, old man Luoli is talking nonsense. Let's end it quickly so that I can escape from this land of right and wrong. Lin Chuan's heart was filled with impatience. At this moment, Master Tong Tian couldn't help but frown. Bunny, you want to run. Tell me to cut off the right and wrong places, but to escape in the face of a disaster. Who exactly is the traitor? Damn kid, if you don't want to stay, I won't let you do it. Don't say it again. When did I change the decision made by my teacher? Your name is Lin Chuan, right? I hereby announce that from now on, you will officially become an inner disciple. From now on, I will follow Duobao's cultivation. If there is any momentary neglect, I will personally take care of you. The leader of the Tong Tian sect waved his hand and decisively blocked everyone's mouths. Many disciples who cut off teachings remain silent like cicadas. But not everyone agrees with Lord Tongtian's words. After all, he had promised Chang'er Dingguang Immortal to give him the 6-soul banner before. I regret it when I turn around. Is that all he has the face to say that he has never changed? Of course, disciples dare not say these words. Otherwise, I'm afraid everyone will be gone. Alright, let's all disperse. Duobao, stay with Lin Chuan. As a teacher, there are still some things I need to say to both of you. The head of the Tong Tian sect looked indifferent and dismissed the immortals in just a few words. In no time, the crowd dispersed completely. Only Duobao and Lin Chuan left and right stood in front of Master Tong Tian. However, Master Tongtian's sharp eyes kept staring at Lin Chuan. Seems to have a different idea. Damn old man, what are you looking at? I haven't seen a handsome guy before. Lin Chuan murmured in secret. You. The leader of the Tong Tian sect suddenly widened his eyes, but quickly regained calmness. Stinky kid, you've called me the bad old man 3 times already. You have the guts, remember it to this seat. I ordered you two to stay here as a teacher, hoping to hear your opinions on this Fengshen Liangjie. Don't worry, but it's okay to say so. Master Tong Tian suppressed his anger and tried to make his tone appear calm. Upon hearing this, Taoist Duobao couldn't help but glance at Lin Chuan beside him. It is only natural that he, as the chief disciple of Jiejiao, was left by Tong Tian to discuss the great event of divine enfeoffment. Lin Chuan is an unknown and unremarkable person, how can he discuss this matter with him? Duobao is puzzled by his endless thoughts. However, this is the decision of the Heavenly Master, and he doesn't say much either. Hui Shizuan's words. This divine measure of calamity is fate. The 6 holy sects contained are saints and countless beings from all walks of life. But the position on the list of God's titles is extremely limited, and those with virtue occupy it. I can try to persuade my disciples, but but they should approach it with a peaceful mindset. Taoist Duobao spoke confidently, and a confident smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. It seems that he himself is extremely satisfied with this expression. Don't worry, there's no need to fight for it. Others are rushing to send you to the list what virtue resides in it, others explain it, and Western religions disdain it. By your end, the list of gods has become a great thing. Sigh, there is such an idiot disciple in the sect, no wonder all the disciples in the sect have problems with their brains. Lin Chuan grinned and murmured in his heart. Originally, Taoist Duobao was still waiting for the praise of the leader of the Tong Tian sect. Looking up, he saw the leader of the Tong Tian sect staring at Lin Chuan, with a slightly surprised expression. How could this kid know that both Chan and Western religions reject the list of deities? Does he really have the ability to predict? At this moment, the leader of the Tong Tian sect was extremely shocked in his heart. There are some things that only saints deserve to know. For example, the open and secret struggles between the 6 great sages. Many disciples are not qualified to know. For example, the birth of the Fengshen list. Laozi, Yuanshi Tianzuan, and even the 2 Western sages have clearly expressed their unwillingness to let their own disciples make the list. These words have never been explained to the disciples of the Tong Tian sect. Therefore, only Taoists from Duobao regard the Fengshen list as a good thing. But how did an outsider disciple of Lin Chuan know about such a big matter? This person has great talent, we cannot let you lose. Since the inner disciples can't keep you, then I'll let you be a personal disciple. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. You have the talent of the great way. It's not difficult to cultivate more than 10 martial arts techniques, is it? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. You have the talent of the great way. It's not difficult to cultivate more than 10 martial arts techniques, is it? Lin Chuan, what is your opinion on the Fengshen list? Master Tong Tian was not in a hurry to reveal the truth. After all, everything he heard was Lin Chuan's inner voice. He still cannot determine Lin Chuan's character. If this kid has the same heart, he has the same heart as him. Even directly promoting and reusing in front of Duobao is not impossible. However, judging from all the voices of Lin Chuan he heard, this kid is bound to be inconsistent in appearance. As for accepting him as a personal disciple, it was just a means of forcibly retaining Lin Chuan. Anyway, we can't let this kid run away. Hui Shizuan's words. The disciple is just an unknown outsider, how can he understand the concept of sealing gods and measuring tribulations? Forgive me for my ignorance. Lin Chuan clenched his fist and leaned forward, with a calm expression on his face. What's there to say to you, this terrible old man? If you say it, you will change it. Anyway, it's all playing the piano against a cow, and I'm too lazy to waste my saliva. Lin Chuan secretly sneered. You kid. The corner of the mouth of Master Tong Tian couldn't help but twitch twice. It is indeed as he guessed. Lin Chuan is just an outsider. A trick on the mouth, a trick on the heart. I don't have the same heart as him at all. I estimate that Lin Chuan is still thinking about how to run away. Okay, since you want to escape, this seat not only won't let you succeed. I also want to take you as my own disciple, let's see what you do. Anyway. It's reasonable that you know very little about being outside the door. However, it seems that you are talented and talented. Today I have decided to make an exception and promote you as a personal disciple. From now on, you don't need to practice with Duobao anymore. Stay by my side. The leader of the Tong Tian sect grinned and his mind was greatly drained. Nanny. Lin Chuan was dumbfounded on the spot. Even Duobao was stunned. Master, what operation is this? I will be a disciple of the inner sect for a while, and I will personally pass it on to the disciples. When did it become so easy for a disciple to level up? That's not right. Zhao Gongming possesses an innate aura, and now he has become the great Luo Golden Immortal. But for millions of years, they have not been able to enter the inner door. Lin Chuan is an unknown person, why is he? Master, is this not very in line with the rules? Duobao said with a heavy expression on his face. If this matter is spread, let alone other disciples from outside. Just one Zhao Gongming is probably going to jump in anger. In order to maintain internal stability, Duobao believes it is necessary to remind Tong Tian. Rules. The head of the Tong Tian sect frowned slightly, glared at Duobao, and said in a deep voice. I am the leader of the Intercept Church. This seat is the rules. The master of one religion and the sage of the heavenly way. This aura of self-reliance is awe-inspiring. It's just that the situation is not quite right. It seems that Tong Tian is too stubborn. The master's lesson is extremely accurate, and the disciple knows his mistake. Duobao didn't dare to roast, so he had to admit his mistake immediately. But he glanced at Lin Chuan beside him and felt even more that this kid was also very lucky. What are you looking at? You think I'm lucky, but I think I'm unlucky, damn it. This old man took the wrong medicine today. I just want to lie flat, or even escape from the teaching of martial arts. I really don't want to become a disciple of the teachings. Lin Chuan's heart is wailing. But Master Tong Tian listened very well. Yes, that's the feeling. The more Lin Chuan feels frustrated, the more excited he becomes. Let your kid keep calling me the bad old man. Now I'm just letting you suffer a bit, you'll have to suffer in the future. Cough. Duobao, it's none of your business here. You can leave first. Lin Chuan, you have just been promoted to the level of a disciple passed down personally. You need to practice more advanced techniques. I will teach you now. The leader of the Tongtian sect had a stern face and pretended to be serious again. Good. Disciple, please leave. Duobao let out a deep sigh and didn't forget to glance at Lin Chuan before leaving. He could already imagine what kind of uproar this matter would cause when it spread to Jiejiao Island. I estimate that Jiejiao Island will not be calm for a long time. Bio Palace. Lin Chuan followed the leader of the Tongtian sect with his head down and ears down, entering the back hall. When the two of them sit down one by one, they cross over and sit on the futon. The leader of the Tongtian sect waved his hand and performed more than 10 advanced martial arts. Jiuzhuan Xiangong. 8-9 mysterious skills. Chaos Wuji Xiangong. Xianmen Pure Yang divine skill. I teach all the techniques at the level of the Luo Jin Xian. As a teacher, I see that you have a good talent and a grand demeanor. I will impart all these profound skills to you. 10 days later, I will personally supervise the inspection. If there is any negligence, I will definitely punish it severely. The head of the Tongtian sect raised his lips, snorted coldly, and disappeared with a pop sound. Leave Lin Chuan alone, staring blankly at these more than 10 advanced techniques. What a sin I didn't look at the almanac when I went out today. It's really unlucky. More than 10 advanced techniques, all practiced within 10 days, damn old man, do you think I'm the sage of the Tao? I don't care, I can't learn anyway. If I have to, I will be expelled as a disciple. That's exactly what I want. Lin Chuan glanced at the martial arts technique and his head widened. Learn your butt. I choose to lie flat. Ding, Master Tong Tian teaches martial arts, choose rowing for accommodation. Reward. 100,000 years of cultivation. How fragrant. Lin Chuan lay on a futon, with his head resting on his arms and legs crossed. He hummed a small tune in his mouth. Practicing martial arts can be troublesome. The system automatically gives it away, isn't it fragrant? It's still comfortable to lie flat. This kid really doesn't take this seat seriously. In the corner of the dojo, Master Tong Tian gritted his teeth and looked at Lin Chuan. He almost couldn't resist beating Lin Chuan several times. But reason made him hold back. Lin Chuan has many secrets that we are not aware of. Why does he know so much about Fengshen Liangjie? If it is the art of deduction, which cannot be explored by the 7 sages, how can a small external disciple of him deduce it? If he truly has the ability to predict, then what he said about the great difficulty of intercepting religion is not in vain. Keep the truncation and not be influenced by the deity. All I can hope for is this kid. Be patient. The leader of the Tong Tian sect murmured for a while before turning around and leaving. At the same time, on Jiejiao Island, the news of Lin Chuan becoming a personal disciple spread like wildfire. No one knows who leaked this news. And after hearing about it, Duobao was also very puzzled. He is very certain that it is not him who leaked the news. Only I, Master, and Lin Chuan are aware of this matter. I have never revealed, and Master is even less likely to stoop and spread the news. So only Lin Chuan was motivated by this. This kid really can't hold his breath, it's hard for him to become a master. Duobao shook his head and sighed, with a hint of disappointment on his face. In his opinion, this matter is already firmly related to Lin Chuan. I'm afraid Lin Chuan still doesn't know how many people he offended after becoming his own disciple. Among them, there may be many ruthless people. For example, Zhao Gongming. Senior brother. I, Zhao Gongming, only want to reclaim one claim. I want to ask Master why Lin Chuan can become a disciple passed down personally. I, Zhao Gongming, can only be an outsider disciple for millions of years. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. The Heavenly Sect Leader Who Kills Thousands of Swords. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. The Heavenly Sect Leader Who Kills Thousands of Swords. Zhao Gongming was quite frustrated. He has been practicing for millions of years and is loyal, even hoping to become an inner disciple one day. Looking at many disciples from outside, who dares to stand on par with him. But now, an unknown person has quietly become a personal disciple, even surpassing an inner disciple. As soon as the news leaked, it immediately caused a huge uproar. All the disciples on Jiejiao Island were dissatisfied. Only Zhao Gongming stood up. Facing Zhao Gongming, Duobao silently shook his head in his heart. This kid is indeed extremely despicable. He wants to take action first to create a predetermined fact. In this way, no one can shake its position. Sad. Sightful. Little did they know that this behavior would actually cause dissatisfaction among many disciples who had stopped teaching. Duobao had already determined in his heart that it was none other than Lin Chuan who had reported this incident. It can be said to be extremely despicable. Since junior brother insists on doing so, senior brother will take you to meet master. The whole story will be made public. Duobao led Zhao Gongming straight towards the Bo Palace. Prepare to explore the master's reputation. When he arrived at the Bo Palace, Zhao Gongming looked sad and angry. Master is above me, and I have many doubts in my heart. Why have I worked hard for millions of years, but still remain an outsider? And Lin Chuan is just an unknown person who has made no contribution to the teaching of martial arts. Why can he become a disciple through personal transmission? The disciple felt puzzled. May I know if Master can provide an answer? Zhao Gong has an outstanding appearance tomorrow and can be said to be one of the outstanding disciples among the outside world. If anyone has the most ability to become an inner disciple, it is none other than him. However, unexpectedly, an unknown person has already become their own disciple. This exceeded the expectations of many intercepting disciples. Many disciples were filled with indignation in their hearts. If it were Zhao Gongming, it would be understandable. But now, the rapid rise of Lin Chuan has caused many disciples to express deep doubts, but even if many external disciples are extremely angry in their hearts, they dare not face the leader of the Tong Tian sect directly. But Zhao Gongming dared. When Zhao Gongming asked his own doubts, Duobao was lost in contemplation, which was also a doubt in his heart. With the master's temper, dare someone stir up trouble here? Isn't this touching the master's brow? Duobao has many doubts in his heart. How could that kid Lin Chuan be? He is just an outer disciple who paddles the water, but he has actually risen to the level of a personal disciple. I don't know how he can do it. The leader of the Tong Tian sect did not appear, but he looked at the two people below in the dark and was slightly surprised. Those who dared to face him were still a minority. Lin Chuan is just a special case. The chaotic situation on Jiejiao Island is actually more well known to the leader of the Tong Tian sect than anyone else. Because that's what he spread. Slightly implement a small plan. Many people knew that Lin Chuan had inexplicably been promoted to the position of a personal disciple. He was well aware that such behavior would naturally cause a huge uproar, and even attract the dissatisfaction of many external disciples. But this dissatisfaction is not towards him, but for Lin Chuan. Now that I saw Zhao Gongming coming, I already knew it in my heart. Not appearing, but silently watching from the side. Lin Chuan has multiple secrets on his body. How did he learn about Fengshen Liangjie? How is it determined that this place is a land of right and wrong? The leader of the Tong Tian sect always believes that Lin Chuan has secrets that no one knows, or that he has unpredictable means. Otherwise, how can he know things that others have never known? Duobao still doesn't know. But he should have known that if it weren't for being able to understand his inner self, then this was really not very clear. Faced with Zhao Gongming's doubts, Master Tong Tian doesn't want to say too much. Watching the leader of the Tong Tian sect never appear, Duobao thought of his previous master's words and said, "The reason why Lin Chuan can become a disciple through personal transmission is due to the teachings of his master. However, I think many disciples should be extremely dissatisfied. After all, he can be said to have no honors or taboos, so how can he be? Is that your idea of waiting?" Yu Gongming nodded, his eyes wanting to see if the master was here, but he reluctantly realized that as an outsider disciple, it was extremely difficult to see the master. Even with the guidance of senior brother Duobao. In times of grief and anger. Yes, I think so. Even if it's not the turn to obtain disciples, with so many disciples from outside and numerous senior brothers who have made great achievements, how can it be possible to obtain an unknown person? I'm not convinced. I want to personally confront or compete with this senior brother Lin Chuan. Zhao Gongming gritted his teeth, his tone quite firm. He believed that as long as he showed his superiority, he could definitely be looked up to by his master. Once you win the competition, the master will naturally know who is more talented, and in addition, you have so many honors. Is the inner disciple still far away? Little did they know that after Zhao Gongming finished speaking, the eyes of the leader of the Tong Tian sect, who was peering on the side, flashed with an imperceptible light. Okay. Since you have a secret on you, I'll let Zhao Gongming explore it carefully. The leader of the Tong Tian sect felt proud for a moment, but at this moment, he did not intervene. Duobao said, "Since that's the case, let Lin Chuan come." Upon hearing this, Zhao Gongming's face showed a hint of joy. If he could compete in public and let so many senior brothers compete well in front of him. This allows us to see the depth of that unknown person. As for why he can become a disciple through personal transmission, this is naturally the consideration of the master, but if we can make him show his despicable side. The disadvantaged side. So, naturally, there may be another consideration. Well, Yu Gongming thought so in his heart. Duobao had many doubts in his heart, but he did not reveal them. He looked at the absence of the master in the Bio Palace. Thinking to himself, it must be master who doesn't want to come forward. As for how things will develop, master did not care. So, Xian hurriedly came to Lin Chuan. Bio Palace. When Lin Chuan heard the rumors changing, he was immediately confused, and when he heard that he was going to compete with Zhao Gongming, he couldn't help but know it clearly. Someone is definitely messing around with themselves. Kill Master Qiandao Tongtian. Only 3 people already know the identity of the disciple's personal transmission, and I naturally cannot spread it everywhere, otherwise it will definitely lead to death. Duobao Tathagata should not have the courage to spread rumors everywhere. The only possibility is that only the heavenly master remains. This bastard. Let me practice so many skills all at once, and now I'm still being forced. What are you trying to do? Lin Chuan cursed inwardly. If it weren't for the Duobao Tathagata being here, he would have already cursed loudly, but he knew it was better not to fall into someone's mouth. But in my heart, I have already been cursing. Follow Duobao Tathagata to proceed. But he cursed the leader of the Tong Tian sect repeatedly in his heart. A 360-degree curse without blind spots. Without this, it would be difficult to dispel the hatred in one's heart. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Holding hands and going back. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Holding hands and going back. Master of the heavenly sect who kills thousands of swords, even if it's malicious and difficult, now you still want me to compete in front of everyone. You definitely want to make me look embarrassed. Don't do it if it's a big deal, I'll be fired, just enough to stay away from this place of trouble. Do you want me to compete with Zhao Gongming? Don't even think about it, just a little disobedience, you may be able to leave this place of right and wrong. This is simply not a place for people to stay, either as traitors or as you are about to fall into disaster. Stay here, I have to give my life to you before someone arrives. Their voice has already been conveyed. Upon hearing this, the head of the Tong Tian sect immediately withdrew his lips. I never expected that this stinky kid would dare to slander himself so much in his heart. Although the news was passed on by oneself, who dares to complain during the teaching process? Which one is not respectful? But now it's better. This kid is a demon king who wants to leave the sect every now and then. If that's all, the leader of the Tong Tian sect may not be too concerned. Just an unknown person. Unfortunately, Lin Chuan seems to have mastered the mystery of heaven. Unexpectedly, it is a secret that others have never known. Their strength is still so weak. There is definitely a secret to this, either it has the ability to predict. This is a great talent. This kid wants to leave Jiejiao every now and then, but he doesn't want you to succeed. Since this is a land of right and wrong, then just keep you here. See what kind of achievements you have made. No matter what kind of thoughts you have, there should always be self-rescue, right? Master Tong Tian thought to himself. The so-called interception of teaching will be very difficult, but he has no way of knowing this. However, from Lin Chuan's various inner perceptions, perhaps he can already know that he may know some secrets. Even possessing the ability to predict. If utilized, it may have a miraculous effect on intercepting teachings. Not long. Lin Chuan arrived at the front hall of Bio Palace. As soon as Lin Chuan arrived here, he reluctantly bid farewell, but then he felt a bit confused. Where is the leader of the Tong Tian sect? Why haven't you seen anyone? I just had such an idea. Then I felt a scorching gaze, and it goes without saying that it was definitely Zhao Gongming's gaze. But he feels helpless inside. Who cares about this personally transmitted disciple? Whoever loves to go, I also want to stay away from this place of trouble as soon as possible, and must be given such a taboo. Isn't this making me an enemy of 10,000 people? Lin Chuan said, roast in his heart. The head of the Tong Tian sect's eyelids twitched, and he even wished to catch Lin Chuan and beat him up at this moment. What is not rare? The position of this personally passed down disciple has been coveted by countless people, but in front of this young man, he was actually despised. Okay. If I don't give you some lessons, you really don't know what to do. Want to leave this land of right and wrong? This seat won't give way. Don't want to be. No way. At this moment, the leader of the Tong Tian sect also had a temper. This kid not only dared to slander himself in his heart, but also showed such disdain for such an important position. Since that's the case, so he was allowed to firmly hold the position of this personally transmitted disciple. As for who is the disciple passed down personally, it is not a matter of one word from the leader of the Tongtian sect. However, if this boy is not allowed to suffer a bit, the leader of the Tongtian sect feels uneasy in his heart. But at this moment, he is not easily visible. Fortunately, Duobao saw that the master did not appear and more or less understood the meaning behind it. "Junior brother, I think you should know why you came here." Lin Chuan looked respectful. "Senior brother Duobao, I know now." The surface looks respectful, but the heart silently starts roast. "Can you not know? It's not like this terrible old man from Tong Tian, he's just making trouble for no reason, inexplicable, unreasonable. To sow discord, it's better to have a personal disciple and let me go earlier, wouldn't it? There won't be so many bullshit things in the future, and a whole tutorial can bring family reunion. Betrayal that should be betrayed, betrayal that should be revealed, damn it. Why do you have to hold on to my back?" Lin Chuan doesn't want to be involved in this land of right and wrong. But the more his heart roast, the leader of the Tongtian sect is even more determined in his heart. This stinky kid must not let him run away. Take a look, is that speaking human language? The betrayal that should be betrayed, the betrayal that should be reversed. Damn it. Oh my goodness. These words were all spoken, and the leader of the Tongtian sect was completely dumbfounded. At the same time, one becomes more determined in their own thoughts. Since you're so eager to leave, then we won't let it happen. Since you already know, let's have a confrontation with Zhao Gongming and show the attitude you deserve. Or you two can have a fight, and my senior brother can consider it on the side. Now that the master has not appeared, my senior brother will take care of him with righteousness. Duobao upholds the position of the chief disciple and makes relatively neutral decisions, without deliberately favoring anyone. However, Lin Chuan now has a lot of criticism from his own disciples, and his master has also not appeared, so he understands the meaning behind it. Whether we can or not depends solely on the comparison. Simple and rough, and extremely effective. Upon hearing this, the leader of the Tongtian sect immediately felt relatively satisfied. He had already thought about it, didn't Lin Chuan want to leave this place of trouble as soon as possible? Then we won't let it happen. Moreover, constantly calling him a bad old man in his heart has already made him extremely angry, so let this stinky kid learn a lesson well. Otherwise, it will be difficult to dispel the hatred in my heart. Moreover, it can also be used to explore whether he truly possesses the ability to predict. It can be said to kill two birds with one stone. Although there was no affirmation from his master, with the approval of the Duobao Tathagata, Zhao Gongming's heart was filled with excitement, and a hint of joy gradually began to appear on his face. He believes himself to be talented and intelligent, and has achieved such great success that even when spoken of, he still has the support of many senior brothers. Never lose. This is just an unknown person. How can we compare with him? Zhao Gongming's eyes shone brightly. Duobao Tathagata is relatively neutral and does not deliberately favor anyone, but he has a slight disdain for Lin Chuan in his heart. After all, the news has already been thoroughly spread. Only 3 people are aware of it. He did not receive any news, and in his opinion, it is absolutely impossible for master. And the only possible one is Lin Chuan, but speculation is ultimately speculation and has not been confirmed, and he will not easily draw conclusions. Lin Chuan's eyes rolled and he felt that things were not going well. He didn't think he could compare with Zhao Gongming. If the two of them really fight, they may definitely be in big trouble. Even when he spoke to the heavenly sky, he said, "Report to master, I believe it is difficult for me to shoulder this great responsibility and I am not worthy of having the identity of a disciple passed down personally. My strength is worrying." Just as Lin Chuan finished speaking, he couldn't help but give himself a thumbs up. It's just a quick wit. Not only did he get rid of the current predicament, there was no need to really compete with Zhao Gongming, but he could also get rid of his current identity. No matter what, there is no need to bear it. If the leader of the Tong Tian sect is really angry, even thinking that he is disobeying orders, isn't that making a big profit? End of this chapter. Chapter 6. The Plan of Master Tong Tian. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. The Plan of Master Tong Tian. Silence. Duobao was immediately dumbfounded, and no words could describe his inner feelings at this moment. Zhao Gongming was also confused. How much did he pay for his inner disciples? Even after spending millions of years, such remarkable achievements have been achieved. But he has always been an outsider disciple. Lin Chuan, an unknown person, quickly rose to become a biological disciple, which was already outrageous, but now he doesn't value the identity of this biological disciple so much. Zhao Gongming felt that his longing had been trampled upon. A hint of warmth gradually appeared on his face. Although the leader of the Tong Tian sect did not appear, the corners of his mouth also twitched at this moment. Lin Chuan was simply holding on and retreating. He felt a hint of helplessness. Can I count this as disobedience? And it can also avoid competition, even act against orders. Doesn't that mean you can directly dismiss me? Master Tong Tian. At this moment, no one knows the helplessness in the heart of the leader of the Tong Tian sect. Is there anyone who can row more than Lin Chuan? This is to escape from this land of right and wrong, using every means possible. However, Master Tong Tian had already recognized him and even made up his mind not to let Lin Chuan succeed. Especially, it is not yet known whether one possesses the power of prophecy. If used well, it may be possible to truly overcome the calamity of Jiejiao. Didn't he say this is a land of right and wrong? Then tie him to the warship, and if you don't believe him, you can't come up with any solutions. Master Tong Tian thought so. Zhao Gongming felt extremely humiliated, and the position he desperately wanted as a personal disciple was unexpectedly abandoned by others. This a scholar can tolerate it, who cannot tolerate it. However, I haven't waited for him to speak yet. Duobao Tathagata said, you know, those who resist will be drawn out of their souls and infiltrated into an irreversible land, unable to be reborn forever. Once Master speaks out, no one can resist unless Master retracts the order. If anyone resists, they will announce it to the world in the name of rebellion. Have you ever thought of it? Duobao Tathagata's eyes showed a hint of coldness, and his senses towards Lin Chuan were even worse. The leader of the Tong Tian sect, however, realized that this stinky kid must not be allowed to find any gaps, otherwise he would definitely try his best to resist. He needs to know how serious disobedience is. Sure enough. Lin Chuan was originally secretly delighted. Suddenly hearing such a result, I felt my eyelids twitching wildly on the spot. Even the corners of his mouth twitched slightly. Originally, he only thought that his disobedience was the most serious thing, and it was just being expelled. At that time, I could just leave this place of right and wrong, but I never expected it. The leader of the heavenly sect who kills thousands of swords would be so ruthless. What are these rules? This is definitely sincere. This terrible old man, it was definitely intentional. Absolutely intentional. What exactly caught your eye on me? Can't I make any changes? As long as it's something I can make, I'll make all the changes. Don't keep staring at me, what kind of person can I be? You have taken a liking to me. Isn't Zhao Gongming good? That guy has made millions of years of contribution to intercept teaching. This is truly a good disciple, even better than rebellious disciples like Duobao. Can't you just see it? Why do you have to stare at me? Lin Chuan felt like he was going crazy inside. He thought he could stay away from this place of right and wrong at this moment, but to his surprise, it pushed him into another abyss. Does he dare to refuse? Dare not. Even though he was always complaining about the Tong Tian cult leader in his heart, he had to admit the strength of the Tong Tian cult leader. It can be said that it is completely thorough. In the midst of the flood and famine. That's also a strong contender in the queue. Even so, it is said that if a person who is not inferior dares to persist and act recklessly, they will really be cramped and skinned. As if sensing the gaze in the dark, Lin Chuan dripped a humiliating head. I have no intention of disobeying orders, I just think that Zhao Gongming is more suitable. He can definitely shoulder this great responsibility. Lin Chuan's words have just finished. Zhao Gongming's eyes burst into a light, and he gave Lin Chuan a cold glance. No need, thank you very much for your respect, senior brother. In my opinion, I will only strive for what I deserve, without needing your charity. I will prove to many disciples and masters that I will be even better than you. Lin Chuan. He opened his mouth slightly and looked at Zhao Gongming, who had a hostile expression at the moment. My heart is called speechless. Good guy. This was supposed to be given to you, but now you're doing this for me. What kind of trouble are you going to make? It's just a wooden head. Don't you want to personally pass on the position of the disciple? If you cooperate a bit, then you will be a true disciple by then. How could such a thing happen? What kind of trouble are you going to make? Lin Chuan was extremely speechless in his heart, but at this moment he was quite helpless because he knew that even if he didn't want to compete, there was nothing he could do. He has already been driven to a dead end. There is only one dead end to disobeying orders. But he wants to leave this land of right and wrong. So, in order to save his own life, he can only compete with Zhao Gongming. Humiliation. Master Tong Tian looked at Lin Chuan, who was feeling frustrated, and couldn't help but smile at the corner of his mouth. It seems like everything is under one's own control. Hold on, hold back. Look at what you can do. If you can't really show some skills now, then you really want to keep paddling. Didn't you say this is a place of right and wrong? So I'll keep you tied up here, if you can come up with a more secure solution. So you still have some help, otherwise you'll just stay here forever. Master Tong Tian did not believe much in Lin Chuan's words, only had a hint of doubt. However, Lin Chuan was inexplicably aware of the matter of Fengshen Liangjie, and the rest of the people simply did not even notice it, or even had no way of knowing it. From this point on, it can be seen that Lin Chuan definitely has extraordinary abilities. Therefore, Lord Tong Tian is also willing to take a slight gamble. In fact, the leader of the Tong Tian sect did not feel that he had gradually started to trust Duobao, and a hint of vigilance gradually rose in his heart. No matter whether it is true or false. When this thorn has been rooted in one's own heart, it's inevitable to have some bumps. The knot that cannot be eliminated, after all, is extremely unacceptable to anyone who is a traitor. On Jiejiao Island. Only a quarter of an hour. This once again caused a huge uproar. Zhao Gongming is going to compete with his new disciple Lin Chuan, and also has his senior brother as the referee. As for the key to victory or defeat, no one cares. More people want to see what kind of person Lin Chuan, who suddenly became a disciple of his own lineage, is. Unexpectedly able to become a direct disciple through personal transmission. This is what everyone is curious about. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Rising Cultivation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Rising Cultivation. In the center of Jiejiao Island. This place has gathered numerous disciples who have completed teaching. Most of them are external disciples. After all, Lin Chuan was originally an external disciple, and he was also an unknown person. But inexplicably became a personal disciple. It has made many disciples from outside the sect feel uneasy. My heart has long been dissatisfied. It's just a matter of daring to be angry and not daring to speak up. Not everyone is as righteous as Zhao Gongming. Zhao Gongming dares to say that he has made more contributions than others for millions of years. If we cannot provide an explanation here, that will chill his heart. Fortunately, I had a chance to prove myself. This move is the best opportunity to prove him. How could this Lin Chuan become a personal disciple? It's unimaginable to just go from an outsider disciple to a personal disciple. And for an unknown person, it's absolutely impossible for anyone to turn to him. Senior brother Zhao Gongming's millions of years of contribution are not enough to even become an inner disciple, but Lin Chuan ascended to the sky step by step. It is definitely this demon who used the unorthodox methods. Otherwise, how could he become a disciple of his own lineage? You should take a good look at his true face. Many of the intercepting disciples are extremely dissatisfied in their hearts. This dissatisfaction cannot be vented on the leader of the Tong Tian sect. After all, no one else dares to say much about who the leader appoints as his own disciple. Even as the chief disciple, Duobao, I dare not have any complaints. The natural dissatisfaction can only be vented on Lin Chuan. So, discontent accumulates into a river of resentment. When news came out, many disciples were immediately asked to let go of what they were doing and gathered to witness the true face of this personally transmitted disciple. Suddenly, the space in the sky became turbulent. Duobao suddenly appeared, and the voices of discussion around him disappeared completely. All the disciples knelt down on one knee. I've seen senior brother. Free gift. Following behind Duobao, there are also Zhao Gongming and Lin Chuan. Everything has already been arranged here. After many disciples stood up, their eyes coincidentally looked at Lin Chuan, revealing a hint of hostility. Feeling these hostility, Lin Chuan felt a bitterness in his heart. The bad old man is very bad. What exactly do you like about me? I will definitely make changes and never let you like me. I am already at this level. If I want strength, I don't have strength. If I want contribution, I don't have contribution. I am already a bad person and won't turn over. Why push me into the fire pit? The power of the leader of the Tong Tian sect is naturally omniscient. Even if he does not appear, he can still know everything. Now the corners of his mouth are slightly raised, and whenever he sees Lin Chuan's bitter heart, he feels quite happy. Even if there is no practical benefit obtained, and it is not even known whether there is any ability to predict, it can bring joy to both the body and mind. Master Tong Tian thinks it's worth it. Go ahead. The two of you are competing here, in front of so many disciples who are cutting off teachings, to determine the winner. Contribution and talent are the primary criteria for becoming an inner sect disciple and a disciple passed down personally. If they cannot be achieved, many disciples will also be dissatisfied. Duobao spoke softly, choosing a very approachable attitude and maintaining a neutral attitude throughout. Zhao Gongming nodded silently. Lin Chuan seemed to have grasped the key point, with a flash of light in his eyes. What does this mean? Does it mean that once he loses this battle, he won't be able to become a disciple of his own lineage? Then, if he embarrasses himself, wouldn't it mean he might be able to leave this land of right and wrong? Was he fired? Lin Chuan guessed in his heart, and the more he guessed, the more he felt that there was great potential in his heart. If it's really as he guessed. So this competition cannot be won by any means. But at this moment, Duobao suddenly said, if junior brother Zhao wins, it also means that junior brother Zhao has the qualification to become his own disciple. And my senior brother will report to the master. If Zhao Gongming loses, then everything will remain the same. Duobao believed that he had understood the meaning of the Tong Tian sect leader, so he declined his understanding. Lin Chuan. He stiffened all over, thinking that it was just a loophole, and that if he lost, he might be able to stay away from this troublemaker. He will be expelled from Jiejiao. Because he will be a disgrace to the leader of the Tong Tian sect. However, his ideas are still too naive. Naive enough that he thought he would just be fired. Oh my God. This is simply too ruthless. At the beginning, I was inexplicably targeted by this terrible old man, Tong Tian. What kind of virtue can I be liked by you? He even made me a biological disciple. Isn't this a scam now? If you lose, you're going to kill someone and silence them. I feel ashamed of this terrible old man, and now I think of going through the motions and killing the donkey. No, no, no. I didn't help him at all. I just want to leave this place of trouble. The bad old man is very bad. Lin Chuan couldn't help but understand the meaning of Duobao's words. If he lost, he would be a shame to the leader of the Tong Tian sect. And shame it shouldn't exist in this world. Isn't that to say, he will completely disappear? Not just being fired. My goodness. Lin Chuan immediately flew down without saying a word. At the same time, the cultivation given by the system is gradually starting to fill up. Good guy. This time, we must not lose. Even if we want to leave this place of conflict, it is definitely not now. Otherwise, he will truly become a disgrace to the leader of the Tong Tian sect. Isn't this about to end? My cultivation skyrocketed. Di Xian. Heavenly Immortal. Jin Xian. Tai Yi Jin Xian. In no time, he had already reached the peak of Tai Yi Golden Immortal, and then he did not increase his cultivation again, because if he broke through the peak of Tai Yi Golden Immortal, there would be too much movement. It will definitely be discovered by the leader of the Tong Tian sect. I was planning to paddle, but I found out that someone else was holding a knife around my neck. If you don't move, it might really be over. It's getting cold. Watching Lin Chuan fly straight down, Zhao Gongming also followed behind. The leader of the Tong Tian sect suddenly had a hint of doubt in his heart, because just now, he felt a little dazed. It seems that there is a slight illusion on Lin Chuan. What was the reason just now? There was such an incredible feeling, could it be difficult? Will something happen at this moment? Moreover, there is definitely a secret in this kid's body. It seems that he has the ability to predict, whether it is true or false, if there is a secret in his body, and it is not small. It's worth exploring and exploring. If you want to run, there's no door. The head of the Tong Tian sect showed a slight smile at the corner of his mouth, with a look of anticipation. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Rowing in Battle. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. Rowing in Battle. The many disciples who intercepted the teachings looked expectant, and they already had a clear idea of this competition. Lin Chuan. Just an unknown person. How can it be compared to Zhao Gongming? However, even though the outcome has been confirmed, there is still considerable dissatisfaction with Lin Chuan. Feeling the malice around him, Lin Chuan couldn't help but curl his lips. Humph. If it weren't for this terrible old man like Tong Tian, would have become this bastard's disciple. This is not the right place, and I don't know how bad things will happen next. Everyone is a villain. If we can take these people as disciples, this terrible old man is definitely blind. Is it because I didn't dive fast enough to pass on my disciples here in front of bullshit? Lin Chuan was full of roast. I was just paddling, after all, I was just an outsider disciple. Quietly disappearing, perhaps not noticed by anyone. Especially with the impending divine calamity. He had already set a way out for himself, but he never expected that the leader of the Tong Tian sect would make him a disciple of his own lineage, and now it's as if he's telling the world. Take a look all around our enemies. Obviously, they are all mediocre disciples from the outside world. Yu Gongming's luck is just a bit poor, and the level of others cannot be praised. Even if the leader of the Tong Tian sect does not appear. But he was constantly paying attention, especially when he could hear Lin Chuan's voice. Almost a mouthful of blood spurted out. Rebels. Rebels. One bad old man at a time is not worth it. Now he even slanders him, saying that one disciple after another of his disciples is a villain, and he secretly roasts that he is blind. The leader of the Tong Tian sect is a big fire. I wish I could show up on the spot and give this rebellious disciple a slap in the ear. However, considering that this traitor seems to have some unknown secrets, it is indeed necessary to carefully consider them. Who is blind? Let's wait and see. I never believed that choosing an apprentice would lead to rebellion. If there is rebellion, it is definitely none other than you. The mood of Master Tong Tian is extremely bad, and hearing Lin Chuan's voice is definitely not good. At least he is also a sage of the heavenly way, although he may not be affected, it is like brainwashing, appearing from time to time. For Duobao and others, to some extent, they already have some poor senses. The leader of the Tong Tian sect did not trust Lin Chuan much for the time being, as each one is quite significant. If there is any carelessness, big things can happen. I can't help but believe it, but I have to believe it. The leader of the Tong Tian sect is in such a contradiction at this moment. Let's take a look at what he will do for now. Since this place is a land of right and wrong, if we completely bind him here. See what method you will come up with. Lin Chuan was unaware that the leader of the Tong Tian sect had completely made up his mind. Just don't let him leave. Regardless of whether it is true or not, people who are so active in their hearts may actually have some methods. Better believe in its existence than in its absence. Zhao Gongming raised his eyebrows, revealing a hint of ferocity in his eyes. In an instant, he pinched out a seal formula with both hands, and then gently waved it in his hand. A golden whip appeared in his hand. External disciple Zhao Gongming, please teach me. Oh, Lin Chuan felt the golden whip in Zhao Gongming's hand and a slight change appeared on his face. Top quality magic weapon. This is amazing. Not only him, but also the onlookers around him were in an uproar at the moment. Top quality magic weapon. Zhao Gongming is really looking for it. It's a bit interesting. Isn't that to say that Lin Chuan is in danger? Hee. Lin Chuan is at least a disciple passed down personally, how could he be so easily defeated? Personal disciple. Ha. It's just a fake product. It's just an unknown person, and we don't know how to become our own disciple. Master's choice is beyond our defense. But this kind of person is not worthy at all. Regularly using his demonic techniques blinded the master's eyes, otherwise how could he become a disciple passed down from birth? Many disciples from outside the sect have shown extremely impeccable behavior, showing little respect for Lin Chuan and showing contempt everywhere. In this competition, more people still sided with Zhao Gongming. It is obvious. Zhao Gongming can be said to be well-known, and his strength is also quite strong, even contributing to the world among his disciples. It's just a little unlucky. Compared to Lin Chuan's inexplicable attempt to become a personal disciple, it was Zhao Gongming who made many outsiders feel acceptable. Zhao Gongming watched Lin Chuan remain indifferent, and his eyebrows furrowed slightly. External disciple Zhao Gongming, please teach me. He reiterated it again. Zhao Gongming held a golden whip in his hand, with a rainbow-like aura and a faint stream of light gliding by. However, Lin Chuan was only initially surprised, but then remained indifferent. Why is this? Please take it seriously. We have many senior brothers watching from the side during this competition. Don't you know, do you? Lin Chuan rolled his eyes, can you not know? Take a look around here, there are people everywhere, and it's even uncertain who is hiding in the dark. Good guy. Do you think I'm blind? I'm not that bad old man from Tong Tian. I naturally know that there are many people watching at this time, so why do you need to say so? Lin Chuan felt powerless, but silently roast in his heart. In the dark. The head of the Tong Tian sect raised his eyebrows and noticed that Lin Chuan seemed to have a considerable opinion of him, occasionally mentioning it. Moreover, his image seems to be getting worse and worse in his heart. Okay. This stinky kid wants you to know who's blind. The leader of the Tong Tian sect has decided that if he doesn't argue with this kid, it's really unacceptable. If anyone knew, they would definitely be blinded at this moment. Heavenly Way Sage. Master Tong Tian. Surprisingly, he would secretly engage in a feud with an unknown person, and even engage in a competition. This is definitely a shocking thing in the world. Unfortunately, no one knows. Lin Chuan took a step back, and then he felt a little shaky, lying on his side as if sleeping on the ground. Everyone was surprised. Looking around one after another, Zhao Gongming took a step back, as if feeling deeply deceived and afraid of something unclear. But found Lin Chuan lying on the ground in front of him. Moreover, this is a competition in front of a large number of disciples who have completed their teaching. But he actually lay on the ground on the spot, what kind of trouble is he trying to make? Stupid. Zhao Gongming was stunned on the spot, feeling a buzzing sound in his mind, completely at a loss. But the many disciples around were in an uproar. All showed a stunned expression. This is about the identity of a disciple who has been passed down personally. In such a competition, if one does not face it head-on, but instead adopt such a negative attitude, it is like blaspheming the goddess whom one admires immensely. End of this chapter. If you want chapter 9, you can do it. You are listening at novelfull.audio. If you want chapter 9, you can do it. Quiet. A deathly silence. The numerous disciples of Jiejiao Island now showed a look of shock on their faces. Looking at that figure, there was no words to describe the current mood for a moment. In the blink of an eye, a disciple came to his senses. Oh my goodness! What is Lin Chuan doing? He doesn't know that he will be facing a lot of onlookers at this moment. And now their rivalry will be related to the position of their own disciple. Are you joking? If you give it your all, you may not even be Zhao Gongming's opponent. Now, do you want to use this posture to deal with Zhao Gongming? He's looking for death. Naked shame. In Jiejiao Island, many disciples who intercepted the teachings were in a state of uproar, unable to calm down at all. No matter who is involved in this major matter, they will be cautious and never act impulsively. But now, Lin Chuan is not only not giving it his all. What does it mean to face Zhao Gongming with such a posture? Many disciples are still like this. Not to mention Zhao Gongming himself. Completely infuriated, I already felt the ultimate insult. Now that I see Lin Chuan's appearance, what is it not to humiliate him? Damn it! Don't be reckless. Even if you have become a personal disciple, what about that? Oh, I didn't think it would be great to become a personal disciple. I said before, if you want, I'll give it to you. Lin Chuan said in a bored manner, even as if he had heard of the sky outside. Strictly speaking, he was paddling all the way. And his words and actions brought tremendous shock to the many disciples present. Especially after these words have just come to an end. Immediately caused a considerable vibration. What? Lin Chuan. Lin Chuan actually doesn't want to personally pass on the position of disciple. What are you joking about? No one knows, personally passing down disciples can directly meet with the master, even receive the master's guidance in person, and even worse, receive the master's personal guidance and endless resources support. And he actually said to give his own disciple to the others. Boom. Many of the disciples who intercepted the teachings were full of disbelief, as if thinking they had heard the wrong thing. For a long time. Looking at each other, they both saw a hint of shock between each other. I'm afraid I might have hallucinations. No. Absolutely not. Among many disciples, sensation is inevitable, especially the status that everyone aspires to. Once one can become an inner disciple, it will definitely elevate their status significantly. That is a symbol of noble status. Not to mention being a personal disciple. Nowadays, there are very few disciples who have been passed down by the leader of the Tongtian sect. If it weren't for this, Lin Chuan would have quietly become a disciple and would never have caused such a huge sensation. That's why it has caused a different kind of response. But now, the parties involved are so disdainful. How can this not be shocking? Duobao is the person involved, and upon hearing this, the corners of his mouth also twitched. Unexpectedly, Lin Chuan dared to say such words in front of everyone's eyes. If it were in private, it would never have caused such a huge sensation. If someone asks in person and denies it, it can be done. But based on the current situation, things are definitely going big. Duobao looked around at the excited disciples and sighed helplessly, with a hint of complexity in his eyes. It's really tough. Aren't you afraid of being torn apart alive by many disciples? Here, many disciples have been using it for hundreds of thousands, or even millions of years, but have not been able to become inner disciples. Not to mention being a disciple passed down personally, who now holds such a precious position in everyone's eyes but is trampled upon so much. Isn't this like humiliation? As Duobao said, many of the disciples who intercepted the teachings are now looking angry. Looking at Lin Chuan one after another, if it weren't for Zhao Gongming in the field, there would definitely be many disciples wanting to go at this moment. After all, some people have trampled on their aspirations. A scholar can tolerate it, who cannot tolerate it? Damn it! An unknown person who dares to speak up now. If it weren't for his petty behavior, how could he possibly obtain the position of a personal disciple? He still doesn't know how to cherish it. Damn it, you bastard! Angry expressions appeared on the faces of every disciple. Compared to it, Zhao Gongming was also quite angry, but he didn't shout as loudly as the other disciples, because at this moment he restrained himself quite uncomfortable, and his whole body began to tremble. The hand holding the golden whip trembled incessantly. Lin Chuan slowly floated in the air, without any intention of fighting. Feeling the emotions of the people around him and Zhao Gongming. A hint of inexplicability flashed on his face. Oh my God, why are everyone looking angry? It feels like I'm their father killer. It's outrageous. Sure enough, the upper beam is not straight and the lower beam is crooked. With Tong Tian, a terrible old man, here, there can never be a normal person. The leader of the Tongtian sect revealed a mouthful of blood spurting out. It's like lying down with a gun for no apparent reason. Besides causing such a violent vibration, it is clearly you, this stinky kid. Have you ever known how many years have you practiced at all the locations here? How much has it cost to become an inner disciple? As the saying goes, reincarnation is not an exaggeration. And at this moment, everyone's beliefs are shattered by your trampling. You. This is not causing public anger. What is it? The leader of the Tongtian sect is extremely depressed. If it were him who made anyone a disciple of the inner sect or a disciple passed down personally, he would definitely be grateful. And this stinky kid, not only does he compromise in every way, but he's also constantly slandering himself in his heart now. The upper beam is not straight and the lower beam is crooked. There is no normal person. The leader of the Tongtian sect felt speechless and glanced at Lin Chuan. At least he was also a saint of the heavenly way. Even if he wanted to give a good lesson, he was not easy to take action at this moment. Meanwhile, he glanced at Zhao Gongming. The corner of his mouth slightly raised. After all, Zhao Gongming had already been ignited with anger at this moment. Although Zhao Gongming is an outsider disciple, anyone with eyes can see that Zhao Gongming's own strength has already exceeded many. Strong. Strictly speaking, Zhao Gongming was already qualified to become an inner disciple. If it's normal, perhaps we can still compete. But based on the current situation, Lin Chuan is hanging. Many disciples on Jiejiao Island glared angrily, their anger like a celestial object, with a faint power of fluctuating clouds and mist, indicating the gathering of so many disciples. And, in times of uncontrollable anger, It will still cause significant fluctuations. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Zhao Gongming, who goes all out. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Zhao Gongming, who goes all out. Ding. In the official competition, the host is rowing. Reward the Heaven and Earth Divine Book Dream Heart Sutra. A white light flashed past. No one hears, no one sees. Lin Chuan felt a massive influx of information flowing into his mind, regardless of where it was around him, feeling the newly obtained rewards. For a moment, there was a slight drowsiness. Faced with numerous angry gazes. But being able to show such behavior made many disciples appear even more angry. Damn it! What does he consider this place to be? Not only does he look down upon the position of his own disciple, but now he's also drowsy in the midst of the battle. Oh my goodness! Numerous disciples who are already extremely angry. At this moment it appeared even more angry. Even most of the disciples, while angry, expressed extreme shock at this scene. Never heard, never seen. Who dares to show this kind of appearance in such a solemn and dignified competition? No one dares. But when they saw Lin Chuan in the field, they felt extremely frustrated. However, Lin Chuan's performance was even more lackluster. Competition. Fighting. There's no such thing as slacking off. Moreover, when he obtained the Dream Heart Sutra from the Heaven and Earth God book, Lin Chuan was not prepared to use the reward. He was rewarded with a brain teaser that he couldn't resist, and then a lot of information flooded in. I instantly learned this divine book of heaven and earth. Originally, as long as he could close his eyes, he could practice at all times, and during his practice, he would have extraordinary defensive power. Ordinary people are completely unable to break through defenses. When feeling the power of the Heaven and Earth Divine Book Dream Heart Sutra, Lin Chuan was startled. This is too powerful. However, there was another surprise afterwards. It's just perfect for him. It's perfect. Compete. Compete. That's just a child's thing. With so many adults, they even want to compete and be aggressive. Don't you know that slaves are useless? At this moment, Lin Chuan completely closed his eyes and didn't pay much attention to everything outside, but he also vaguely heard many voices. The heart is full of roast. And the leader of the Tong Tian sect in the dark was dumbfounded on the spot. This rebellious disciple, how despicable. In such a solemn and serious occasion, I fell asleep. This not only the leader of the Tong Tian sect, but also many disciples present are already dumbfounded. Duobao has wanted to go down and inquire several times, is it still possible? But as soon as he thought of Lin Chuan's face, he shut up on the spot because he knew very well that even if he acted at this moment, the ultimate result would still be extremely disappointing. So, it's better to shut up. The current situation is so frustrating. What? Did this bastard really fall asleep? What does he consider this place to be? Come and go whenever he wants, and even belittle the position of his own disciple to the point of being useless. Nowadays, in such a serious occasion, how despicable it is to behave so badly. Why? Why does Master want such a person to become his own disciple? Some disciples became angry and roared up in anger. Many disciples are almost unable to resist. How despicable. Not only have their aspirations been trampled to pieces, but now they are also so contemptuous of others. How unreasonable. It's simply unreasonable. Is it remarkable to personally pass on a disciple? Can we just ignore everyone like this? Evil on him, showing it to the fullest. Zhao Gongming was also confused. What about the agreed competition? What about the agreed comparison? What is this? What is this doing? A black question mark almost appeared on his head. Faced with this scene, if it weren't for looking at the angry crowd around him, Zhao Gongming would have thought on the spot that everyone was here to watch Lin Chuan's performance at this moment. After a moment of confusion, Zhao Gongming's face changed at a speed visible to the naked eye. Anger suddenly rose up. Boom. Okay. It's great. Unexpectedly, you look down on me so much. So, let this dog-eyed person know what powerful strength is. Unknown people, those who cheat and play tricks. I just can't make it to the stage. Zhao Gongming stepped out with one step, and suddenly 24 sea god beads appeared around him. If I just wanted to show my strength. So at this moment, I have truly demonstrated my true abilities. I can't bear it anymore for Lin Chuan. Boom. The Dinghai divine pearl suspended and slowly gathered towards the surroundings. Zhao Gongming waved his golden whip in his hand. Shoo shoo shoo, every wave seemed to tear apart the space, with faint cracks that quickly healed. Even so, the power is still quite terrifying. However, Lin Chuan remained indifferent. I opened my eyes and slowly closed them again. Ding! In the battle with Zhao Gongming, the host paddle's reward won 9,000-year-old peach. Lin Chuan's heart trembled slightly. Unexpectedly, it triggered the system's reward twice in a row, which he couldn't even imagine. It's already a lot at once. And now, in this competition, 2 consecutive rewards have been triggered. It has to be said that Lin Chuan's liking for Zhao Gongming skyrocketed on the spot. Good people. They are really good people. He is simply my god of wealth, TSK TSK TSK. Zhao Gongming, I don't know how much better that is than this terrible old man like Tong Tian. Master Tong Tian. The leader of the Tong Tian sect is confused. Even though he is a saint of the heavenly way, he can be considered one of the best beings in this vast wilderness. However, now he is somewhat confused. I completely don't know why Lin Chuan's brain circuit is so bizarre. Why is it better than him? Aren't they all still competing at this time? Good guy. Zhao Gongming is doing his best to teach you a lesson, and you, as a kid, have given up on your own psychological connotations. How could you say that Zhao Gongming is even better than me? Why? Master Tong Tian said that he really can't understand the current situation at all. Lin Chuan is simply more stubborn than a donkey, holding on and retreating. Faced with such a fierce attack now, how could you praise the other party in your heart? If it weren't for witnessing it with one's own eyes and also knowing clearly who this inner thoughts were, the leader of the Tong Tian sect would really think he had hallucinations, or he could have heard the voices of others. But the only person who dares to call him that is Lin Chuan. The leader of the Tong Tian sect is certain of this, but that's why he is completely dumbfounded at this moment. There are more doubts and the changes in the field are constantly changing. Surrounded by the sea god pearl, the golden light flickered, and one blue light after another enveloped Lin Chuan, making it impossible for the 2 levels to break free. End of this chapter.